A friend of mine came in that summer to pitch an idea about how Elaine never had an orgasm with Jerry. And, you know, that was just too good to pass up.
You fake?
On occasion.
And the guy never knows?
Yeah.
How can he not know that?
Because I was good.
I guess after that many beers, he's probably a little groggy anyway.
You didn't know. There was a lot of taboo material, be it lesbian wedding, be it orgasm. Wait, what about that? I mean, on a half-an-hour show on NBC prime time Thursday night, you're talking about female orgasm? Give me a break. That had never been done before. And by the way, in not a sexual kind of way.
You faked with me?
Yeah.
You faked with me?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You faked it?
I faked it.
That whole thing, the whole production, it was all an act.
Not bad, huh?
What about the breathing, the panting, the moaning, the screaming?
Fake, 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 fake.
There's an episode of Seinfeld in which Kramer gets barred from Joe's Fruits for returning peaches. Well, in real life, Larry was barred from Joe's for squeezing. He was an inveterate fruit squeezer, and Joe had a policy: if you touch fruit, you buy it. And Larry touched one piece of fruit too many.
The guy went crazy and said, well, don't come back here anymore. Okay, you're banned.
Hey, you get a bad peach? That's an act of God. He makes the peaches. I don't make the peaches. I sell the peaches. If you got a problem, you talk to him.
You know, this whole place is going downhill.
Well, I got a perfect solution for you. Take your business elsewhere. I don't want your business.
Oh, now you don't want my business.
No, I don't want your business. And at this moment, you're banned from this store. You're banned.
But what am I going to do for fruit?
Tom Gamble and Max Prost came on the show in the 5th season. When they came on the show, they started to write shows that Larry and I, that was the first scripts that we were handed that we really couldn't even take apart to put back together. We were so confused by them. They were so different in structure and tone.
Ours tended to get a little crazy sometimes, and you know, Jerry would always laugh like, wait, this is a show people are supposed to relate to.
Larry and I had started with this idea of making a comedy that really sounded and felt like real life. That was a notion that we started with, and I think tried to keep to for a while. And not only couldn't we keep to it because it was too difficult, but I think it was restricting us comedically.
I gotta get out of this city.
So you're tunneling to the center of the earth?
I'm at the health club, and while I'm in the pool, some guy walks off with my glasses. Who steals prescription glasses?
In the glasses, I actually lost my glasses at the health club and walked around wearing them for a day. And so that sort of came out of real life.
I remember the episode The Glasses, which was their first show, and that was the one where George thought that he saw my girlfriend kissing my cousin Jeffrey, who was an unseen enemy of mine. I don't think he ever appeared. And the end of it, it turns out that he actually saw a woman kissing a horse, which was, you know, that was a silly that we hadn't quite gone to yet. We really thought that the audience was going to be jarred by the way they wrote, and of course no one noticed anything, and in fact loved the stuff that they wrote, and this further broadened our parameters of what we thought we could get away with. When Tom and Max came on, and they were so much fun and so funny and such a great presence around the show. I mean, everybody loved them, and they were like this great. They brought a great buoyancy to the whole staff, and really gave us a second win when we needed it, I think, and helped the show stay strong through those middle years.
What made a successful episode was how funny the idea was, and that's it in a nutshell. You know, for example, a show like the Puffy Shirt that had this idea of a low talker saying something and Jerry kind of nodding along.
Sure?
Oh, yeah.
I had dinner with this woman who was a low talker, and I thought it would be very funny if she asked me to do, because I kept nodding along. After a while, I stopped saying, I'm sorry, what was that? You just get tired of saying it. You know, could you please speak up? You say it once or twice, but then you just give in and go, uh-huh, oh, you know, and you just pretend that you understand what she's saying. So I could have agreed to anything that night.
Larry was looking for the thing that she was going to whisper, some garment or something that I was going to have to wear. And I remember exactly where I was standing in the lunchroom, and I remember the doorway that he was standing in when he told me, what about one of those puffy shirts? And of course, you know, we both knew instantly that was perfect.
Since you agreed to wear the puffy shirt on the Today Show, she's getting all these orders from boutiques and department stores.
Since I what?
Agreed to wear the puffy shirt.
What are you talking about?
When you said that you would agree to wear the puffy shirt on the Today Show.
And then the work began on creating the puffy shirt.
Larry said, you know, we kind of want it to look like a pirate shirt. And so I thought, okay. So I went out and I went around to all these rental houses and got some of these, like the Errol Flynn shirts, I call them Errol Flynn shirts, but from Warner Brothers, and I brought all these shirts in, and they said, well, we like this collar and we like this ruffle.
Because those shirts are never quite as puffy as they don't look quite as puffy as we wanted it to look, so then we had to, like, build wires into the sleeves to puff it out.
I kind of thought we would be changing the sleeve because it was really kind of goofy, but it flew.
I can't wear this puffy shirt on TV. I mean, look at it. It looks ridiculous.
Well, you gotta wear it now. This is gonna be the new look for the 90s. You're gonna be the first pirate.
But I don't want to be a pirate.
I think that's one of Jerry and Michael's best scenes, too, about, you know, you look like a pirate. I don't want to be a pirate. You know, it's just that childish 3-year-old mentality.
When we did the puffy shirt episode, Jerry was to appear on the Today Show, so we said, well, let's go to the Today Show. It's an NBC show. So Larry and Jerry and I flew to New York, and we shot the scene. Their guys did it for us. They did it as they would do any normal interview, and we brought the tape home and edited it.
And speaking of clothing, that is a very, very unusual shirt you have on.
Yeah.
You're all kind of puffed up.
Yeah, it's a puffy shirt.
You look kind of like a pirate.
Yeah, like a pirate.
John Randolph had played George's father for the first time in an episode that was called The Handicap Spot. And then the following season, I don't know if John wasn't available or something about, something made us want to change the actor. And so we brought in Jerry Stiller.
When it was announced that he was going to be playing my father, my anticipation was huge, just huge.
I got Frank Costanza almost like when my life was disappearing as an actor. I was close to that 7-decade mark. And one day I got a call. They wanted me to come in as the father on Seinfeld. I says, what is Seinfeld?
Jerry did not audition for the part because he was in New York. And this was probably the first time that we flew an actor in from New York to do a role on the show without ever seeing him audition.
I knew Estelle Harris the minute I walked on the set. She reminded me of my father's third wife. And I didn't have to act with Estelle. I knew where things were with us from the moment she opened her mouth.
Yeah, you know, my friend, the bra salesman, he says they're looking to maybe put somebody on, so I got you an interview next Friday with his boss.
Next Friday? What time?
2 o'clock.
That's my whole afternoon! I was going to look for sneakers.
You can look for sneakers the next day!
He doesn't know anything about bras.
I know a little. Besides, what do you have to know?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to go in and be able to discuss it intelligently. Maybe you should take a look at a few bras. Where's your bra? Give him a bra to look at.
I'm not giving him a bra.
Why not?
Because I don't need him looking at my bra.
Fine, so he'll go into the interview, he wouldn't know what he's talking about.
And I said, oh, good. He's the maniac now. He's taking over. and I can be more prim and proper, and we gelled. I always knew you had beautiful hands. I used to tell people, Frank, didn't I used to talk about his hands?
Who the hell did you ever mention his hands to?
I mentioned his hands to plenty of people.
You never mentioned it to me.
Georgie, would you like some Jell-O?
Why'd you put the bananas in there?
George likes the bananas!
So let him have bananas on the side!
All right, please! Please! I cannot have this constant bickering!
When Jerry Stiller started to appear on the show, I just loved him instantly.
The first day I got on the set, Larry David said to me, Jerry, you're going to be working with Estelle, and she's kind of loud and obstreperous, and we'd like you to have a contrast, you know, the meek, the guy who's subdued, because that'll be very funny. It'll work good. And the other thing he said I want you to do, he says, I want you to wear a bald wig, because George is partially bald, and it would look good that the father has the bald wig. And being new and knowing that there was one actor that had been replaced, I said, oh, sure, I'll go along with it. For 4 days, I went along with this, and Estelle was screaming at me, you're the one who ruined this life, you're the one who did this. And I went along, and I was very meek, and I was very out of it. And I felt by the 4th day that I, too, would be replaced as this actor, because nothing was happening. I could feel this. So almost out of desperation, on the day of the shoot, the afternoon, the cameras were ready, the crew was there, and she started screaming at me.
George likes the bananas!
So let him have bananas on the side!
All right, please! Please! I cannot have this constant bickering!
And Larry David looked at me and said, that's it, keep it that way.
He comes in, and he is, of course, he's brilliant, and he doesn't even know why he's brilliant.
What really amazed me was Jerry, Julie Louis, Michael, and Jason gathered around the camera. They formed a little semicircle, and it separated me from the audience. They stood there like they were holding me, like I was in, I felt like I was in the womb, and they were protecting me, telling me, we love you, you're going to be good, you're going to be wonderful. And I swear, I never saw actors behave in that manner in all the time I've been in theater, and it shocked me.
Most of the Jerry Stiller technique as Frank Costanza is his ongoing battle to try and remember the lines. And they would come to him in pieces, and they would come out of him in pieces in a very sort of psychotic way. You're telling me that you know, I mean, it's not a planned reading. It's just as it's entering his brain what he has to say.
Would you believe when I was 18, I had a silver dollar collection? You know, I couldn't bring myself to spend one of these. I got some kind of a phobia.
And the two of them together, he and Estelle together, I mean, it was just that whole season, you know, when they said George moves back home, I went, it's more time with Jerry and Estelle, you know,
Yeah, he really had some nuts for parents, George Costanza.
When I heard that they were removing Lincoln's bloodstained shirt to put ours in place of it, I was very flattered, and I thought it was time to move on from that assassination. I can't believe this. How did I get here? Well, I can't even tell you the pride that I feel being the focal point of what has to be the most embarrassing moment in the history of the Smithsonian Institute. This is truly a new low. And I couldn't be more proud to have my name plastered all over it. It is quite something. I was saying to somebody earlier that I think this might be the first joke that has been inducted into the museum. This is really nothing but a joke. Yeah, we have received many wonderful honors, but this is certainly unique and special, and a gigantic thrill for me that we would be considered not only part of show business history, but American history, and that's what it means to be included in the collection of this museum. My accountant, whose name I won't mention, not that he doesn't deserve the infamy, who stole, I think, $50,000 from me and snorted it up his nose. And money that was supposed to be going into T-bills or C-bills or some C-notes or I don't know what the hell it was, some account of something. And I gave him cash, and in my great financial wisdom, didn't ask for any receipt or anything, just gave him an envelope of cash and never saw it again. And I used to talk about that guy and how much I hated him, and so he became the sniffing accountant. That was some measure of revenge.
Drugs? You think he's on drugs?
Look, it doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. It just means he was sniffing.
Well, what else? Was he nervous? Did he use a lot of slang? Did he use the word man?
No, he didn't use man.
I mean, when he was leaving, did he say, I'm splitting?
No, but at one point he did use the bathroom.
Before coming to Seinfeld, I'd worked for 5 years in New York as a private investigator. It was after having done Broadway, I crapped out and needed a survival job. Didn't want to work as a waiter, and I had a friend who got a job as a PI because they liked hiring actors because they have no scruples and are willing to lie about just about everything. So I did that for 5 years in between acting jobs. So here I am in a stakeout, you know, but on Seinfeld.
Where is he already? He should have been out of work by now. Hey, you know, this is kind of fun.
Yeah. You know, maybe we ought to become private detectives.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, me too. All right, what are you going to say to him?
I'm just going to find out if he's interested.
Hey, maybe I should go in with him.
No, you stay here in the car.
Now, who made you leader?
All right, Newman. One more peep out of you. You're out of the whole operation.
When Michael Richards drank the beer while smoking, Julie and I, our jaws were on the floor. We could not figure out how he was doing that. I just love that gag.
I was in awe, absolutely in awe of how he pulled that one off.
No, he did all that. I didn't write that.
You know what? I don't know how these things come about. I really don't know. I tell you, it's just something from...
Here's to feeling good all the time.
One of the greatest things to see live, and still great to see on tape. Incredible.
I would work during the week rehearsing, but when I would go before camera, stuff just happened. I would work very hard to get myself placed for the scene, know my camera marks, know my lines, but when I worked in front of the camera when we were on, things happened. I mean, I had a sense of what I was going to do, but...
There is some line that resurfaces a lot in our show, which I just adore, which is, barring any barring some unforeseen incident.
Well, I think I can say, barring some unforeseen incident, that you will have a very bright future here at E.D. Gronlund.
Thank you, Mr. Farkas. Thank you very much indeed, sir.
That just kills me, that line. It's a cartoon line. It's like a foghorn leghorn kind of, I say, barring any unforeseen incident, we expect